an MTA camera showed Zepeta setting the woman's clothes on fire and then using another shirt to fan the flames. Later in the day, police found Zepeta on another F train, this time at Herald Square, after a group of high schoolers recognized him and pointed him out to police.
What's going on, guys? I'm back with another video to talk about the horrifying news story coming out of NYC of the Guatemalan illegal migrant that burned a sleeping woman to death on the subway in a barbaric act of violence, and how his previous deportation under the Trump administration was buried by the Hocul administration, along with his criminal conviction for other violent crimes in his home country. This incident has also happened on the same day that Kahy Hocul and her team staged a phony celebration to brag about the subway violent crime being down. Interesting. And this has set off a chain of events where her critics and concerned New Yorkers are now calling for her resignation. And let's go on ahead and zoom in and take a look at this story and get a grip on these unbelievable chain of events.
Today in Brooklyn, the man accused of setting a woman on fire on the F train faced a judge. Sebastian Zepeta, who police say is an undocumented immigrant, is charged with murder and arson. News 4's Melissa Colorado was in court for today's arraignment. She's joining us live now in downtown Brooklyn. So, Melissa, what happened in court today?
Well, Adam, as you know, the video that circulated on social media was disturbing, and the details that came out in court were also disturbing. Prosecutors say the suspect, Sebastian Zepeta, apparently told detectives that he had a drinking problem, that he drank a lot of liquor, and that he has no recollection of what happened. Prosecutors also say that after the suspect allegedly set this woman on fire, he then used a shirt to fan the flames.
The man accused of setting a woman on fire while she slept on a subway train in Brooklyn faced a judge today. 33-year-old Sebastian Zepeta, an undocumented immigrant from Guatemala, was arraigned on murder and arson charges for killing a fellow strap hanger. Her name is still a mystery because the medical examiner is still trying to identify the woman. The prosecutor said that Zepeta allegedly told detectives that he drinks a lot of liquor and doesn't know what happened. Authorities say MTA cameras captured what happened Sunday morning aboard the F train in Coney Island. Police say Zepeta and the female victim, who appeared to have a mobility walker with her, rode the train to the end of the line without ever talking to one another. The prosecutor says an MTA camera showed Zepeta setting the woman's clothes on fire and then using another shirt to fan the flames. Later in the day, police found Zepeta on another F train, this time at Herald Square, after a group of high schoolers recognized him and pointed him out to police. According to federal immigration officials, Zepeta was deported in 2018 and snuck back into the country. This is his first arrest. Meanwhile, ICE officials say now that Zepeta is charged, its enforcement and removal operations wing will lodge an immigration detainer. A detainer is a notice that authorities intend to take someone into custody if he's released. President-elect Donald Trump's incoming border czar, Tom Homan, who was set to carry out Trump's mass deportation plans, on Fox News yesterday, blasting New York's sanctuary city protections.
Historic number of criminal aliens walking the streets because of this administration's policy in sanctuary jurisdictions and lax immigration enforcement.
And Zepeta's last known address was a men's shelter in East New York. His next court date is this Friday. That's the latest here from downtown Brooklyn. I'm Melissa Colorado, News 4 New York.
All right, Melissa, thank you.
All right, so now we know that this pyromaniac murderer is 33-year-old Sebastian Zepeta. And I believe he was convicted of murder in Guatemala, which led to him being deported under the Trump administration. However, he was allowed to sneak back in with the help of the corrupt Biden-Harris administration to hide out in some type of shelter or halfway house, ultimately leading up to this appalling event where he took this poor woman's life. And unfortunately, the details coming out to identify this woman has not fleshed out. So we still don't know who she is, how old she is, and where she comes from, even her ethnicity. Let me just say this. There is no way that you can convince me that Kahy Hocul's administration did not know she needed to vet every single one of these illegal aliens coming into her state and to make sure that no one was convicted of a crime in the United States or in their home country, and allow them to step foot for another day in the shelter system under her watch. So her whole administration knew that these were criminal aliens in these batches of illegal aliens coming in from the border. And even fingerprinting them, if she has to do like every last one of them, that should have been her due diligence to make sure that no one snuck in that have a criminal background, because that's going to make her look bad. That's going to make her look incompetent. But of course, if you're drunk with power, you do not care. You don't even look at these people as human. But the only thing that they could think to do was to point fingers at Greg Abbott and put the blame on him for not scraping up enough resources to vet these criminal aliens themselves for exploitation to do their job. Now, what I find aggravating about this pyromaniac freak is the lame excuse he gave of pulling a Jamie Foxx and blaming it on the alcohol. If that was the case, I guess it was a total miracle for him to be caught on camera and 4K video, mustering up mental focus and stoic demeanor to take a cigarette lighter, approach the sleeping woman, consciously light her clothes on fire, step back a distance to make sure he didn't get no flames and no smoke, and coldly watch this woman burn to death, and then go up and fan the flames and make sure that the fire spread from head to toe on this lady. Yeah, right. I don't buy that at all. This cowardly pyromaniac chose this woman because she was an easy target. This woman had fell asleep like a lot of people do on the subway and let her guard all the way down, and he just targeted her and took advantage of it. And looking at the photos that came out in the media, you can see that this piece of trash was not drunk. He was not intoxicated. He looked perfectly lucid and capable of carrying out this attack. Now, it would be disingenuous of me not to mention the homeless man named Niall Taylor, 49 years old, homeless man who did a similar hateful act like this on 2 separate occasions. The first incident that happened was in February, and the second, where he was apprehended, happened in May. So the first time he did this, he was on a subway, same situation, carrying flaming cans of liquid, acting crazy, getting unhinged, and he tossed it at a group of people and it missed them. They got away, he got away unapprehended. So he was at large. They had him on camera, 4K, as you can see on the screen. And finally, in May, he tried this again, but this time he hit the bullseye when he intimidated this man, was engaging him in a stare down kind of competition type of thing, and then he just spontaneously flung it at this man and his fiance. So his fiance got shielded for the most part. She got hit with the liquid too and was burned, but the man took the chivalry route and he took the brunt of the attack. So he got burned on different parts of his body. They say in one news report it was 30% of his body. He got hurt really bad. But in the interview that he had, he actually said that that was wrong. It was about, the doctors officially said that it was 10% of his body, but still, he was, covered in burns, and he was extremely disturbed by the whole situation. Of course, this man was minding his own business, having a nice day out with his fiance, and then bam, some unhinged freak animal attacks them and ruins the whole situation, changed his life forever, him and his fiance. So that's the reason why I'm adding this in, because let me tell you, at least this man, and I can only give this situation a little bit of credit, this man is an American-born citizen. He is subject to the laws of this land, and his criminal history is going to weigh heavily on how he's going to be dealt with and how much time he's going to get, which cannot be said for a criminal alien coming in from another country where he is being helped by the Hocul administration to bury his record along with the other criminal aliens. They are looked at as not a problem, but let an American-born citizen go and do the same thing, they would try to put this man under the jail. And the fact that they gave him a $250,000 bond, it says a lot. In the zero bail justice system, that is supposed to make it easier for a person that is poor to get out of jail and not be bogged down with having to stay in jail for a long time and not be able to afford to buy your freedom, that says a whole lot. So these criminal aliens, they're a special case. So there's the difference right there. And if this man is not prosecuted and convicted for premeditated murder and then deported up out of here, you'll know that the New York City judges are so corrupt that you probably need to just move out of the state altogether. Because at this point, it would be even more obvious that the government is programmed to feed, house, and to protect the illegals on the taxpayer dime. And that's their whole mission. So we will wait and see what happens with this story, but I am not confident that they're going to send this man back to his home country, especially since Trump is coming in, and then Tom Homan has put out his threat and said, look, if you stand in my way, then you go to jail as well. I think they're going to be even more arrogant and delusional. So the only justice that I see in this whole situation coming at Kahy Hocul is, in a figurative sense and in the court of public opinion, Kahy Hocul right now and her corrupt administration are being barbecued for the phony photo op that she set up in the subway on the same day that this illegal alien murdered this woman in cold blood on the L train. Maybe people are waking up a little bit more after this has happened, and after all of the time that has transpired in the influx of these illegal aliens being bused to her city, how in the world is she not realizing that this Frankenstein experiment that I personally call sanctuary city socialism ain't working? A system that robs the working poor and gives to the illegal and the illegitimate. I don't think she cares, because this woman, and I've been watching her, she seems to be really addicted to the power trip and political perks that she's been afforded. And it makes me kind of feel that the end game for these sanctuary city mayors and governors is that they're going to continue to aid and abet these illegal aliens. And it seems to be step one is intentionally bog themselves down with attending more to the illegal aliens for federal funds and virtual signaling points rather than deal with their own tired and disenfranchised constituents. Step two, keep the political theater and gaslighting going to operate on borrowed time while continuously misappropriating taxpayer dollars. And then step three, you pass the illegal migrant project on to the next governor and mayor's administration down the road the next 4 to 6 years, cleansing their grimy hands of responsibility and making sure that they pat themselves on the back on the way out to chalk everything up as a success and, hey, my legacy is clean. That's all I think that the end game is going to be. There's no way possible that they're going to give all of these people temporary protected status to not just graduate from that and keep renewing and keep requesting to renew, and then everybody that comes in that they deem is legitimate on the asylum system, asylum claim, is going to get citizenship and amnesty. It's just not going to happen. And I've said this before in my other videos, but again, more and more, it just seems like the wheels are continuously falling off of this sanctuary city program, this delusion, this fantasy that everybody that's coming in that's illegal is not really illegal. Oh no, they're not illegal. They're just less fortunate, and we need to help them. They're not criminals. They're not doing anything. They just need some help. They need a hand up and a handout. So give up that taxpayer money. Help us help them. And then helping them helps us. No, that's not turning out to be a correct assumption. This is a fantasy, a pipe dream, and it's falling apart at the seams. So we'll see what happens with Kahy Hocul's, how she responds to the calls for resignation. Explain how these illegal aliens acting a fool, either killing somebody or inflicting acts of violence and harm on the taxpayers, the New Yorkers. She claims that she cares about her constituents, she cares about the image of New York, and she supposedly wants to stop the criminal aliens from coming in, but she's acting like, I don't know where this is coming from. It's not what you think. We got everything under control. No, ma'am. No, you don't. And it's showing day by day. Online and in these media stories, different people are lighting her up. They're just saying, look, you need to throw in the towel. And you need to figure out how you're going to bow out gracefully, because what you're doing is not helping. You're continuously showing up, not taking accountability, not being in touch with reality. You are in a burning house, but you're still cooking on the stove. It's just ridiculous, totally ridiculous. Maybe I'm asking too much of these corrupt government officials, asking them to take accountability. But alas, you know how it goes with these type of situations. The crime amongst American citizens, usually the government officials and even the people in the justice system don't give a crap until somebody is killed. For them to wake up and open their eyes to take drastic action to protect the innocent people. You know, something's got to give. Kahy Hocul is definitely on the hot seat right now. And hey, tell me what you think. That's all I have to say about the situation and this nonstop horrible nightmare that the sanctuary cities are creating. Just political theater, and the United States citizens in these sanctuary cities having to be killed in order to get attention and an ear on these complicit, incompetent city officials, that their sanctuary city is not providing sanctuary to the right people, but aiding and abetting illegal criminals, completely destroying their states from the inside out.
This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City. We're getting 10,000 migrants a month. Now we're getting people from all over the globe have made their minds up that they're going to come through the southern part of order and come into New York City.
If you like my commentary and personal insights, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget to click that notification bell so you know when I come through with another video.